Okay, so this video is I'm gonna take you through the new account form from Schwab. But before I do that, let's do a 30-second review because it begs the question, why are we opening an account at Schwab? Why can't I just take the trust document to the bank and call it a day? Well, the IRS requires that you have a document called the plan document. It's a very lengthy and costly document to prepare. It takes attorneys that are well versed in retirement plans, and they're very expensive. So we're leveraging Charles Schwab in this case, and we're using their plan document and piggybacking off of that. So that's why we have to open up a new account at Schwab. You can deposit as little as 25 bucks if you want it in there in this account. But what that allows you to do is allows you to get free updates on their plan documents when they come out. And it's also been approved by the IRS. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff because it's already done for you. So you can have both. You can have a little bit of money at Schwab, or as much or as little as you want, or you can have most of your money in your bank account where you can cut checks and on real estate and other transactions. So it's a beautiful thing. All right, so that's the reason. So let's start. Here's the new account, a new account application. Let's take section 1, employer information. Business name, obviously you know that. You've got an EIN probably for your business name. If it's sole prop, put your social in there. Address, city, state, zip, business phone. All right, so now if you have a spouse that's your partner, they can actually have their own 401k as well. So that would be in this section. If you wanted to check that, you could check that box too. Down here, plan information, the name of the plan. That's whatever name you want it to be. It doesn't even have to have 401k in the name, though it is a trust, so it should be named something something trust, whatever that may be. Plan sequence number. If this is your first 401k plan or solo 401k plan, put 001. Plan ID number. That is the Schwab number. Leave that blank. Plan administrator, that's you. Adopting employer, tax year end. So if it's typical year end, it's December 31st. Business address, city, state, zip, and the phone number. All right, so tell us about yourself section, your name, last name, social, date of birth, nicknames. Moving on, I'm just going to blow through this. A lot of this stuff you can do on your own. I'm just going to point out some things that might trip you up. Your address, phone numbers, emails, mother's maiden name, now that's easy. Country of citizenship, legal residence, driver's license number or passport info, marital status, employment info. Obviously, it's a solo 401k, you're self-employed. Occupation, fill that in as best you can. Are you affiliated with a stock exchange member? Typically not. If you want to avoid some issues, I would say no there, no here. Investment experience, fill that out for them. Really doesn't matter. Trusted contact designation. This is a section where you can name someone who can have access to your information on your account. Could be typically a spouse, partner, maybe in your business, someone that's financially competent, hopefully. And moving down here, overall objective of the account, whatever that may be in your case. Some account features. If you want electronic confirmations, usually that's a good idea rather than getting inundated if you actually do trade any in the account. Most people that are setting these up are more involved in real estate, although you can do some trading in these accounts too. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, so the beneficiary designation is kind of an important section. You're going to have obviously the name and the address of your beneficiaries, but also the social security numbers and dates of birth of those people. Now, a couple of important boxes in this section here under type of beneficiary, either primary or contingent. Primary means they're going to get the percentage share that you name no matter what when you pass away or if you pass away. Contingent means they will only get the percentage share that you name if the primary beneficiaries are no longer there at the time of your passing. So a typical scenario would be a husband names his wife as the primary beneficiary and then his children as contingent beneficiaries. So what would happen is if he passes away and his wife is no longer living, then it goes to his kids. If he passes away, then it all goes to his wife. That's a typical scenario, but you can mix and match any way you want to. All right, so that's the beneficiary section. So we're going to blow through this. Make sure you send it and fill it out correctly and completely. Otherwise, they're not going to document it. They may send it back to you, and it's going to take a lot longer to set this account up. All right, so consent of spouse. Your spouse, if you have one, must sign this if they are not the primary beneficiary. Okay, so they have to consent to not being the primary beneficiary, and it has to be notarized. Okay, so if they're not the primary beneficiary, they must sign it and get it notarized. If they are, don't worry about it. Okay, moving on, section 6, authorization to open the account. That's you, sign there as account holder, print your name, date it, and the mailing instructions. If you're going to mail it regular, if you're on the West Coast, if you're on the East Coast, it goes to Orlando, and some overnight instructions as well. See if there's anything else here you need to know. Just kind of blowing through here. Yeah, that's about it. If you had specific questions that were not answered by this video, you can actually call up Schwab. They're very helpful, good customer service. One thing I would not do is basically tell them, hey, I'm splitting off one account. I'm going to have some money with you and money in a bank. I really wouldn't disclose that just because they'd have no idea what you're talking about. They probably think that it's not kosher to do, even though that we know that it is. So I hope this helps, and shoot me an email if you have any questions, okay? Thank you. Take care.